Today, we're going to the arcade. Not just any arcade, a VR arcade. So let's hear a few stories today, and let's get cracking. Entitled parents and age restrictions, plus responsibility. Tales from an arcade. For some background, I work in a VR arcade in a mall. Our VR stations are 10 and older, previously 13 and older, but we lowered it just because we made so many exceptions. But due to the damages we've had in the past, we can in no way, shape, or form go lower than 10 years old. As an alternative, we have Xboxes and Switches for the younger crowd. Almost daily, we have had encounters with entitled parents who can't seem to respect that we are a business with rules and not their house. Story 1. I'm on the school board. My 8-year-old won't break anything. Super tame start. The entitled mom was just really rude. As stated above, we only allow 10 years or older to play. On this day, I was in our back room doing repairs on some of our controllers. One of our crew members came into the back looking nervous. He asked me to affirm our rules and permission to give them an exception. This event happened shortly after a kid, 9 years old, got overzealous playing a VR arena battle game and broke one of our headsets. To be covered in Story 2. Our manager was out of town, and as the assistant manager, I told him what to do. I said, no, we aren't doing exceptions for anyone anymore. And he tells me that she wants reasons. Our reasoning is that A. Younger children are less likely to acknowledge expensive equipment, pre-operational reasoning, and handle it with negligence, a lack of understanding for fixed space, and staying within the given play area. Keeping hands and boy in the chaperone grid. Height. Due to the layout of our store, our lighthouses are mounted really high, and we tend to have more tracking issues if the kid is 4 feet or under. Getting overwhelmed, Story 3, you'd be shocked how many parents are trying to force their 2 young children to play VR when all the kids want to do is play Fortnite. Younger children aren't well suited for VR, and our store isn't built to cater to them. We're for teenagers mostly. I give him the reasoning and get back to my repairs. Less than 5 minutes go by, and crew member comes back into the back, appearing even more anxious. He says, she wants to talk to you. And I immediately drew back to all the Mimi, Karen says she wants to speak to the manager scenarios. And sighed, putting my screwdrivers down. Crew member said sorry before I walked out of the back. Now I like to think I'm alright at customer service. Most scenarios in the store, I'm able to elaborate our reasoning and talk it out. But this entitled mother would not take no for an answer. I reiterated our reasoning, our rules, why crew members would get in trouble if they let them on due to stricter enforced rules. They usually don't, but it's a helpful point to make since good people don't want to get someone fired. She brings up her position on the school board, which I have no idea why that mattered, but she brought it up a lot, claiming she just wants to see if he likes it for home. Regardless, I didn't want to make trouble for our store and crew members, so, as assistant manager, I allowed her son to play. After their time had passed, the day went on as usual. After all the arguing for a couple minutes of playtime, I figured they got what they wanted. I made the exception to save pace. All was well and over with. But they came back. You'd think after all that they would know that he's too young to play and I did something nice once because you threw a fit. And expected the same expectation and treatment. Bruh. Luckily, we had a 3-hour wait time, and for whatever mentality they had, didn't argue on the fact that we were busy and laugh. Not a super exciting entitled mother kills my entire staff and comes for me next, but I think it's so unreasonable that some parents just think that they can get their way and won't accept no without threatening your store. It happens so often. Give me my way or you'll get a bad review. I hate it. Story 2. He's almost 10 and super responsible. Can you play? The almost 10 excuse. Something we hear on the daily. This is the story that made us be strict. Now, we've had our damages before, usually paired with a remorseful and responsible parent who works with us. I remember a kid playing Fortnite, snapped the thumbstick out of a controller, and the dad felt so bad he went to GameStop and bought us a new one on the spot. Now, for this story, an entitled dad came in with 2 kids, both boys. One was 10 years old, the other a 9-year-old, entitled kid. Back in those days, we were pretty lenient. We would even let a few 8-year-olds on every now and again. Now, in no way, shape, or form are we saying someone's 9-year-old kid can't be the most responsible being in the store, but our rule is a precaution, not a personal attack on any one person's child-rearing abilities, but anyone who works in environments with children gets a good sense for, this kid's gonna be a little. My dad often says he knew I would be straight from birth. Now, I had this feeling about both kids. We said it and let them get their time and play. Of course, the entitled kid picks a high-motion, high-risk game. We always get a little nervous when younger kids pick games that require them to be mindful of their space. That doesn't mean we don't get wonderful kids with great parents, but 3 times out of 5, the parent just wants to ditch their kid in a highly populated store so they can shop at Macy's in peace. After the entitled kid is set up, we spend the entire time moving him back into the center of the play area, reminding him about the chaperone grid. The dad comes and goes, and laughs when we spend 90% of the time trying to correct the kid so he doesn't break something, rather than helping us reinforce the rules, which the kid acts out even more to get a rise out of his dad. We have VR wires mounted on the ceiling to avoid tripping. As a result, we have a no overhead swings warning we say when setting people up on action games, since hitting the cord can loosen the headset. And I go over to correct the kid, turn my back to help someone on Xbox, and the second I look away, I hear a smash. This is just after I tell him for the 15th time what not to do, and warn him that if he can't play by the rules, he will be switched to a less active game. Winging around, I pick the headset off the floor. Check it. The display is black, red light on the side. I make a cutthroat motion to the crew member at the counter. Stop the kid's time. Go to check the cameras. Kid blatantly ignores everything said. Doesn't try to catch the headset, just let it hit hard on the floor. I go back up to collect the information I need to send an invoice for negligent behavior resulting in damages. We have a waiver you sign before you play. The entitled dad laughs and makes excuses. Says to the entitled kid that his mother has a huge bill to pay after asking for the cost of the headset. Gives us a fake number and leaves. Never got solved or got a hold of them. Opened the headset up, hit the ground so hard the board cracked. On carpet. You have to be a special kind of negligent to do that. The whole time the entitled dad just invalidated everything we warned and said to the kid and made it seem okay to act out stupidly. And didn't own up when his entitled kid broke something. I feel bad for any place that entitled dad brings his kids to. Story 3. You have blank at home. Try something you don't have, says the entitled parent to the 5 to 13-year-old. This one is kind of amalgam. A general vent on some things that happen a lot. VR isn't for everyone. Some people get nauseated and scared. Maybe they get headaches, etc. It's 2 TV screens pressed to your face, giving you a fake reality. A lot of people don't want to play. Most kids that come in because they see Fortnite on the Xbox anyways. As stated, we have an age limit for VR, and reasons for said age limit. The sheer amount of parents that try to force their unprepared or underage kid into playing VR. I cannot elaborate on how many kids whose parents force them into playing burst out crying or get scared and curl up. It's so dumb. It takes $0 to respect your kids' wishes and not force them into doing something superficial like playing a VR game. I had a boy who really didn't want to play, tried to talk the parent out of it, or offered them to play on a console with extra time. But they literally insisted. I cannot fathom why. We put him on a simple game that has minor puzzles and isn't scary. But the kid got startled by something that popped up behind him and started crying so hard. I felt so bad for him. They left after that. But like, that kid is never going to have fun playing VR and is going to be embarrassed for crying in public with a friend watching him because his parents made it into a bad experience. Or parents that gendered the games their kids play. Boys play action games, girls play cooking games. Stupid and happens way too often. Or the parent that abandons their kid for hours, even after not buying hours of playtime, and the kid doesn't have a phone or know their parents' number. So we just have this neglected child to watch over while they shop in the mall. Our store is often densely populated with an open entrance. Their kid could literally just walk out and get lost. We have a rule that kids under 13 can't be left alone, but you can well bet they don't listen or even read it. I don't get how some people can be so bad to their kids. Well, that was a lot to unpack. It's crazy how parents try to manipulate their kids' age. I'm surprised they don't ask for a deposit up front to stop the deadbeats from skipping out on the bill when their perfect little angel starts wrecking stuff. And forcing your kids to play games? Can you even imagine? Plus, leaving your kids with strangers? There's just too much to unpack. Let me know what you think about these stories in the comments below. Please leave a like if you got this far, because, I would hope you like it if you're listening to this. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more content and ring the bell to be first. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.